Good morning, guys. So, I wanted to come in for a tiny bit and talk about toxicity again, because it definitely keeps on coming up, and it's like this, I'm hearing a lot in the way of, talking about toxic people and vampires and just in a really, really negative connotation. The truth is that we all sort of have toxic behaviors, things that we've inherited from either just life in general, from our parents, from our teachers, from just society. We inherit all of these different behaviors that we are told are non-toxic, but are incredibly toxic, such as calling each other toxic, So you come through, when you start getting into, deep in philosophy, you start finding a lot of people who talk about toxic people, rather than referring to it as toxic behaviors, because, or behaviors that are toxic in certain situations. Because if you go to Christians and you sit down and you talk with them, their lifestyle is literally the most, it's the happiest place on earth to them. It's like freaking Disneyland, man, But if you were to take a pagan and throw them into that Christian atmosphere, here, I've got major glare going on with my glasses today. So, if you were to take a pagan and put them in the Christian atmosphere, it's a literal hell. So they are the most unhappy people that you could possibly imagine in this environment. The environment is literally toxic to them. It doesn't make it a toxic environment. I don't find Christians to be toxic people. I don't find pagans to be toxic people, but the lifestyle meshing well together and expecting this pagan to live a Christian lifestyle, that's where the toxicity comes from. So, I'm experiencing something like that right now, with where I am actually the toxic element, because and it's from lifestyles meshing, and they just don't mesh well. That these are not toxic people. They're not bad people. We have a tendency to get into toxicity and start talking about, I'm right, you're wrong. My narrative is better than your narrative. Or, instead of saying, you know what, this just does not feel right for me. I can't exist in this space, in this kind of an atmosphere. These are not toxic people. These are not bad people. These are not people who should be removed from the earth. But, I can't exist here like this. So, it goes into this blame thing of you, instead of looking at ourselves and saying, hey, what energy am I bringing to this environment? And, is it possibly just my very existence that is creating the toxicity? Am I the toxic element? It's kind of like playing you watch Sesame Street when you're a kid, and which of these things is not like the other? You don't always have to eliminate the one who's different, but the one who's different cannot expect that the whole world collide, and you're trying so hard to fit into this location. Perhaps you are not meant to fit there. We keep on, and we get so angry and vicious and want to hurt somebody, and it's really, you're trying too hard to fit in. There is literally nothing more painful than staying in a location that is not meant for you. And say thank you to those people that bring your awareness to that. It's not that they're bad people. Your awareness needed to be, your eyes needed to be opened, you know, to, hey, I had a purpose here. I had a purpose. I had a really, really cool life, but now that life is coming to an end and it's time to start a new one. And excitedly look forward into the future saying, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. But instead of, keeping yourself angry through the blame process, because that's where the anger comes from, is you're just like, these people are so wrong. They're so wrong. And what is wrong with these people? And how can they be so wrong? And you get yourself all escalated and it's like, dude, it's time to go. It's really seriously just time to go. And, it's time to step out of the protection of the comfort that you once had in that place. It's time to step into an unknown situation and say a prayer. Say a prayer that it works out. I have no idea how I'm going to get a passport. But I guess that's what's in the cards and what we're holy crap. Yeah, this is what we're doing now, I guess. We're at that point where, yeah, okay, universe, yeah, this is what we're doing this now. But yeah, don't be afraid to just jump because you can keep fighting, you can keep warring with people, or you can just accept this. Here's your sign. Here's your sign to be moved off onto the next leg of your journey, I guess you could say. But yeah, the toxic example is not always the best one. It is, I remember being in the place that these people are in right now, and I can tell you it was absolutely not an easy place. Just life in general was not easy for me when I was living the way that my current roommates are living. It was so hard, in fact, that I had to stay medicated. I had to stay drugged. I had to stay drunk. I had to fill that void with one man after the next. There were so many things that I had to do just to survive and exist through that period of time. So I know life is not easy for these people, any easier than it is for me. But staying in this situation is not healthy for any of us. Getting into the point where you talk about it as an external event instead of this, oh, I have to leave these horrible people because I'm so much better than they are. And no, because let me tell you, I lived with my mother whose lifestyle was, very, very similar to what mine is now. And I'm telling you, it was an absolute prison and a cage that I lived in, trying to exist in her presence, because those two lifestyles cannot coexist. They can't. And you can call it, disrespectful or whatever. You can call it anything. But the long and the short of it, they cannot exist together. So, man. Yeah, I really needed to make this video. This has been seriously the worst freaking last 3 weeks of my life. As together as I might seem like I have it, I'm telling you, I absolutely do not have it together. Not at all. Not even a tiny bit. There is like, they tell, you know, I have been doing like the meditations, and I've been doing all of the breathing and, you know, listening to music, and I've got all these stupid holistic CDs and everything. And my mind is like this little ferret that found his friends, and they decided to have a drinking party or something up in my head. And they went on the Ferris wheel too. They went on the Ferris wheel, and they're totally chilling together right now. And it is not cool. It is like I am in the worst like OCD phase that you could possibly imagine. And trying to pull myself out of that without, you know, pointing fingers at anybody besides myself has been incredibly difficult. But realizing that I can't stay here anymore. It is definitely, God has been talking to me and telling me it's time to go. It is totally time to go right now. So, yeah. So I guess we're going. So I will probably be doing another video, talking about the updates, and maybe doing one while I'm on the road too. That might be nice. So, but I will see everybody next time. Bye.